At the edge of the world, where the earth curves into endless white and the wind carries whispers of time itself, there is a place that seems almost unreal. A land where silence is alive, where ice stretches further than the eye can see, and where the horizon melts into the sky in shades of blue and silver. This is Antarctica, the frozen heart of our planet, a continent both alien and mesmerizing, both fragile and unyielding. To step into Antarctica is to step into a world where nature writes its own rules, and where every gust of wind, every shifting glacier, and every living creature tells a story of survival, resilience, and the slow march of time. For much of human history, Antarctica existed only in imagination. Ancient philosophers speculated about a great southern land to balance the continents of the north. Mapmakers drew it as a vast, unexplored terra incognita, filled with uncharted coastlines and speculative notes. It was a place of mystery and danger, a blank canvas for human curiosity. For centuries, it existed not as a destination, but as an idea, an enigma at the bottom of the world that no one had ever seen. The first confirmed sightings came in the early 19th century, when explorers braved the southern oceans in wooden ships, battling storms, ice, and isolation. Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen and Mikhail Lazarev of Russia may have glimpsed the icy coast in 1820, while British and American sealers were navigating nearby waters. These first encounters were perilous, often driven by economic pursuits like sealing and whaling rather than scientific inquiry. Life on these early voyages was brutally demanding. Frostbite, scurvy, violent storms, and months of isolation were constant companions. Antarctica was, and would remain, a formidable teacher. The heroic age of Antarctic exploration began in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a period marked by daring journeys, scientific discovery, and extraordinary human endurance. Figures like Roald Amundsen, Robert Falcon Scott, Ernest Shackleton, and Douglas Mawson became icons of courage. Amundsen, meticulous and methodical, learned from Arctic traditions and reached the South Pole in 1911, returning safely. Scott, arriving weeks later, faced tragedy as he and his team perished on the return journey, leaving behind journals that speak to both heroism and human fragility. Shackleton's endurance expedition, trapped and crushed by ice, became a story of leadership and survival, as he guided every member of his crew to safety against impossible odds. These stories reveal the human dimension of Antarctica: ambition, resilience, and humility before a continent that allows no shortcuts. Antarctica's landscapes are not merely static expanses of ice. The continent is dynamic, shaped by glaciers that flow like frozen rivers, ice shelves that float and fracture, and hidden lakes buried beneath kilometers of ice. The ice itself is a record of the planet's history, trapping bubbles of air, volcanic ash, and dust over hundreds of thousands of years. Ice cores drilled by scientists reveal past climates, fluctuations in carbon dioxide, and the rhythms of ice ages, offering insight into how our world has changed and what may come in the future. Antarctica is both a laboratory and an archive, a place where the past is preserved in crystalline layers of frozen time. Life in Antarctica is remarkable for its resilience. Penguins, seals, and seabirds have evolved extraordinary strategies to survive extreme cold, months of darkness, and relentless winds. Emperor penguins endure the brutal winter to breed, fasting for weeks as they incubate eggs on their feet and huddle together for warmth. Seals maintain breathing holes in shifting ice, while krill flourish beneath frozen seas, forming the foundation of a food web that sustains everything from fish to whales. Even microscopic organisms thrive in the soil and hidden waters, demonstrating that life can endure in the most extreme and unlikely conditions. Scientific research has transformed Antarctica from a place of legend into a hub of global understanding. Research stations scattered across the continent host international teams who study climate, geology, biology, and atmospheric conditions. These scientists endure months of darkness, extreme cold, and isolation, yet their work informs the health of the entire planet, from rising sea levels to the movement of glaciers and the preservation of biodiversity. Antarctica, once seen as a frontier to conquer, has become a global classroom, teaching lessons in resilience, adaptation, and cooperation. Even now, Antarctica faces challenges. Rising temperatures threaten ice shelves, glaciers are retreating, and the delicate ecosystems that have evolved over millennia are increasingly vulnerable. These changes are not isolated. They ripple across oceans, influence global climate patterns, and remind us that even the most remote corners of the Earth are intimately connected to our own actions. Antarctica is both a warning and a source of hope, a place where the interplay of human activity and natural forces is visible in stark clarity. As we prepare to journey deeper into this frozen world, we will explore its hidden landscapes, uncover the mysteries buried beneath kilometers of ice, and witness the astonishing life forms that defy extreme conditions. We will follow the footsteps of early explorers and modern scientists alike, discovering stories of courage, discovery, and human ingenuity. Antarctica is not just a place. It is an experience, a living testament to the resilience of life and the enduring power of nature. As we journey further into Antarctica, the continent begins to reveal a world that is far more than endless ice and biting winds. Beneath the seemingly uniform white, there is movement, history, and life. Glaciers flow slowly but inexorably, carving valleys and shaping the landscape beneath them. Ice shelves extend like massive floating platforms over the ocean, their edges calving into icebergs that drift into the Southern Ocean. Every feature tells a story, not only of the forces that shaped the continent over millions of years, but also of the delicate balance between environment, life, and climate. One of the most remarkable features of Antarctica lies hidden beneath the ice: subglacial lakes. Lake Vostok, buried beneath more than 2 miles of ice, has been sealed off from the atmosphere for at least 15 million years. Within its dark, cold waters, microbial life persists, surviving in total darkness and extreme pressure. These organisms rely not on sunlight but on chemical energy, demonstrating the incredible adaptability of life. Scientists study these lakes not only to understand life on Earth, but also to gain insight into the possibility of life on other icy worlds in our solar system, such as Europa and Enceladus. Antarctica is a frozen archive of our planet's history. Ice cores drilled deep into the Antarctic ice sheet contain layers that represent hundreds of thousands of years of climate data. Tiny bubbles of ancient air trapped in the ice reveal fluctuations in greenhouse gases, volcanic eruptions, and even evidence of meteor impacts. From these frozen records, scientists have reconstructed past temperatures, shifts in glacial coverage, and the timing of ice ages. The continent, in essence, is a vast natural library, storing secrets of Earth's climate and providing critical insight into how the planet may respond to present-day changes. Despite the harsh conditions, life has found remarkable ways to persist. Penguins, the most iconic Antarctic inhabitants, survive extreme cold and darkness through social cooperation and evolutionary adaptation. Emperor penguins, for instance, endure weeks of winter darkness to breed, huddling together for warmth while males fast and incubate eggs on their feet. Seals navigate the frozen margins, maintaining breathing holes in thick ice, while krill flourish under sea ice, forming the backbone of a food web that supports whales, fish, and seabirds. Even microscopic organisms inhabit the ice, soil, and hidden lakes, reminding us that life can endure in the most unlikely places. The Antarctic Peninsula, however, is changing at an unprecedented pace. It is one of the fastest-warming regions on the planet. Glaciers are retreating, and ice shelves are collapsing, with events like the disintegration of the Larsen B ice shelf in 2002 serving as dramatic reminders of nature's fragility. Scientists monitor these shifts closely, knowing that melting ice has global consequences, raising sea levels and altering ocean currents. What happens in this remote, icy wilderness is intimately connected to coastlines and communities thousands of miles away. Research stations across Antarctica are not just places for survival, they are centers of discovery. Scientists endure months of isolation, sub-zero temperatures, and months of darkness to study everything from climate patterns to wildlife behavior, from atmospheric chemistry to the geology of ancient landmasses. Life in these stations requires both teamwork and ingenuity. Researchers maintain equipment, conduct experiments, and rely on one another to stay safe and sane in one of the harshest environments on Earth. These stations exemplify the power of international cooperation and scientific curiosity, highlighting the Antarctic Treaty's goal of using the continent for peaceful, global benefit. Antarctica's ancient history emerges not only from ice but from exposed rock. Fossils of plants, mosses, and even early reptiles show that the continent was once green, warm, and teeming with life. Millions of years ago, Antarctica was part of the supercontinent Gondwana, connected to Africa, South America, and Australia. Fossils tell the story of forests, flowing rivers, and a vastly different climate. This transformation, from lush forests to frozen desert, is preserved in rock layers and hidden valleys, revealing the continent's extraordinary geological journey. Weather and wind in Antarctica are forces to be reckoned with. The dry valleys, often described as the most Mars-like environment on Earth, receive almost no precipitation and are scoured continuously by katabatic winds that reach over 200 miles per hour. Even in such barren places, life persists in the form of extremophiles, microbes capable of surviving freezing temperatures and near-total desiccation. These organisms push the boundaries of biology, demonstrating that life can endure almost anywhere, given the right adaptations. Icebergs, massive and majestic, are both beautiful and critical to the Antarctic ecosystem. When ice shelves calve, they release icebergs the size of cities, which drift slowly across the Southern Ocean, melting and distributing fresh water. These icebergs influence local currents, marine habitats, and even nutrient distribution, impacting the entire ecosystem. Observing them is not just a visual spectacle. It is an essential part of understanding how Antarctica's dynamic systems shape global oceans and climate. As we move deeper into Antarctica's story, we begin to see a continent that is a living, breathing archive of Earth's history. Its ice records climate change, its lakes preserve life from eons past, its glaciers sculpt the land, and its living organisms demonstrate the resilience of life in extreme conditions. Humans, too, have learned from this continent, not through conquest but through respect, observation, and collaboration. Antarctica teaches lessons about endurance, adaptation, cooperation, and the delicate balance of ecosystems that sustain life across the planet. Our journey through Antarctica is far from over. In the next and final part, we will explore the modern challenges the continent faces, the extraordinary human stories of scientists and explorers who dedicate themselves to understanding this frozen world, and the profound lessons Antarctica offers for our planet and for humanity. We will conclude with reflection, awe, and a sense of connection to one of the most extraordinary places on Earth. As we enter the final chapter of our journey across Antarctica, the continent begins to speak in a language that is both urgent and profound. This is a place where time moves differently, where ice preserves memories of ancient climates, and where the extremes of nature challenge every visitor to adapt or perish. But Antarctica is more than a frozen wilderness. It is a teacher, a warning, and an inspiration. It shows us the resilience of life, the interconnectedness of Earth systems, and the consequences of human activity on even the most remote corners of the planet. One of the most pressing stories unfolding in Antarctica today is climate change. The Antarctic Peninsula is warming at an alarming rate, glaciers are retreating, and ice shelves are thinning or collapsing. Events such as the dramatic disintegration of the Larsen B ice shelf in 2002 highlight the fragility of these massive structures. As ice melts, sea levels rise, ocean currents shift, and ecosystems, both local and global, are affected. Scientists monitor these changes with a sense of urgency, knowing that the fate of distant coastlines and countless human communities is connected to the ice here. Antarctica is not isolated. It is a keystone in the system that sustains life across the planet. Yet despite these challenges, Antarctica remains a testament to resilience. Life endures in forms both magnificent and microscopic. Emperor penguins continue their breeding rituals, navigating weeks of darkness and temperatures far below freezing. Seals maintain access to water through shifting ice, and krill thrive beneath the frozen seas, sustaining whales, fish, and birds. Even microbes in the ice, soil, and hidden lakes survive in extreme conditions that redefine the limits of life. Observing these adaptations teaches us about the astonishing persistence of life in the face of adversity. Human presence in Antarctica has evolved dramatically. From the heroic explorers of the early 20th century, Amundsen, Scott, Shackleton, to the modern scientists who live in remote stations, Antarctica is a place that tests the limits of endurance, ingenuity, and cooperation. Research stations are hubs of discovery, where teams study climate patterns, glacial dynamics, wildlife behavior, and atmospheric conditions. Scientists endure months of darkness, isolation, and sub-zero temperatures, yet their work yields insights that benefit the entire world. These stations exemplify what humanity can achieve when knowledge, curiosity, and collaboration guide our actions. Antarctica also preserves a record of Earth's distant past. Ice cores provide snapshots of ancient atmospheres, volcanic eruptions, and climate cycles. Fossils exposed in rocky outcrops reveal a time when Antarctica was green, warm, and teeming with life. Millions of years ago, it was part of the supercontinent Gondwana, connected to Africa, South America, and Australia. The continent transformed over time, from lush forests to frozen deserts, and its ice sheets now hold the memory of that transformation. Studying these records helps us understand how climate has changed over eons and offers insight into how it may change in the future. The continent also teaches lessons in humility and awe. Winds howl at hurricane strength, temperatures plunge below -100 degrees Fahrenheit, and blizzards can strike without warning. Every expedition, every research mission, and every human presence here is a negotiation with forces far greater than ourselves. Yet amid this extreme environment, there is profound beauty. Towering ice cliffs, glittering snowfields, and the subtle interplay of light across ice and sky create scenes both stark and sublime. It is a landscape that inspires reflection, respect, and wonder. Antarctica is also a story of global cooperation. The Antarctic Treaty, signed in 1959, set aside territorial claims and emphasized peaceful, scientific use of the continent. Nations share research, monitor environmental changes, and collaborate on preserving ecosystems. It is a rare example of international unity, demonstrating that even in a world often divided by politics and conflict, common goals, knowledge, preservation, and respect for the planet can prevail. As we conclude our journey, it becomes clear that Antarctica is far more than ice, snow, and wind. It is a living archive of Earth's past, a laboratory for understanding the present, and a warning for the future. Its glaciers, mountains, and hidden lakes tell stories of resilience and adaptation. Its wildlife demonstrates the limits and possibilities of survival. Its scientists reveal the importance of curiosity, cooperation, and stewardship. And its ice, shifting and ancient, reminds us that the planet is a complex system, delicate yet powerful, fragile yet enduring. Leaving Antarctica, we carry more than memories of frozen landscapes. We carry lessons about perseverance, interconnectedness, and responsibility. We understand that our actions, far from this icy wilderness, ripple through oceans, climates, and ecosystems. We recognize that the Earth, in all its beauty and fragility, requires care and respect. Antarctica is a story of extremes, but also a story of hope. Hope in the resilience of life, in human collaboration, and in the capacity to learn, adapt, and protect. Antarctica is not a place to conquer. It is a place to witness, to learn from, and to honor. Its frozen expanses teach humility. Its hidden lakes and ice cores reveal the deep memory of the planet. Its wildlife demonstrates the astonishing adaptability of life. Its human stories inspire courage, creativity, and collaboration. And above all, it reminds us that even at the edges of the Earth, where life is tested to its limits, there is wonder, there is meaning, and there is hope. Antarctica is the ultimate journey for the body, the mind, and the spirit. It challenges, teaches, and inspires. It connects us to the deep history of our planet and to the fragile future we share. As our voyage ends, we leave with a profound sense of awe and responsibility, carrying with us the lessons of the frozen continent. That resilience endures, life adapts, and that the Earth, in all its extremes, is a treasure worth cherishing, protecting, and understanding.